As you can tell by the title, this is a 48-hour readathon. Wish me luck. So I took a lot of inspiration from Stephanie's book verse in the challenge aspect of this readathon. It's already challenging to read a lot in 48 hours for me because I am a very slow reader. So this could be a complete fail. We will be spinning a challenge wheel, and then for each book that we're going to pick, there will be a prompt wheel that I'll spin to figure out what kind of book I'm going to be reading. So let's go ahead and figure out what our challenge will be. I'm terrified. So I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be this one. I have no idea if I can do this. I'm actually really scared. I guess we should figure out what our prompt is. I mean, I'm like nervous. As far as books that I would like to read in this 48-hour readathon, I would like to try to stick to my November TBR because I haven't started it and it's the 8th of November. So yeah, either my November TBR or books that I've already started. So books that I'm currently in the middle of reading are Six of Crows, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, Hate You Give. Um, I think that's it. I think that's it. So hopefully we can fit one of those into whatever prompt we get. So let's figure that out real quick. Okay, we got graphic novel, which is not a bad prompt. I just kind of wish it wasn't right now because it's only 8:36. I'm going to start this at 9. It would have been nice if I decide to stay up either tonight or tomorrow to have it while I'm not having to, while I don't have as much brain function, but that is okay. We do have one graphic novel on November's TBR, so let me get that. Okay, I have Monstrous, which is a high fantasy graphic novel. So I could choose this. It's on my November TBR. It's short, but I have to read 2,000 pages. This one is longer, and it's out from the library. Let me get Michael's opinion. Okay, we came to the decision. I'm going to read Delicates. I will get to this hopefully soon, but this is just, it's a little short for having to read 2,000 pages. At least for the first prompt. You know, like it just, I feel like I won't be achieving that much. So hopefully I can read this by the end of tonight. It's 8:40. I'm starting it at 9. We'll see. So yeah, that's, oh gosh. It's going to be a fun challenge. I am excited. I like challenging myself. I like doing things like this. Like even when it's just me before I even had my channel, like I would do stuff like this where I would be like, "Oh, I want to participate in so and so's readathon," or I'd just be like, "You know what? I have nothing going on this weekend. I'm just going to read as much as I can for 48 hours." And it's always been really fun. So I'm excited to actually be able to film a video for it. It's going to be so fun. So yeah, stick around and see if I can read 2,000 pages in 48 hours. I really hope so. I just finished this This is Delicates by Brenna Thumler. This made me cry. But that's 320 pages of the 2000 that we need to get through, and it's only 10:30. Um, wow. Okay, the first book in this graphic novel series is Sheets, which is more about grief and forming unlikely friendships. This book deals with so much, like awkward middle school friendships where you're trying to fit in and don't want to be seen as the girl that hangs out with the weird girl, even though you know what your friends are doing is wrong. And then it's about their suicidal thoughts and ideation. So go into this carefully if that's going to be something that's triggering for you. Um, it's a beautiful story. I absolutely loved it. I gave this 5 stars. I don't think I gave the first volume 5 stars, but this one was so amazing. And I love the art style. It's not all pink like that. Like, it's very colorful, but there are those moments where it's kind of like bathed in one color, if you know what I mean. But it's so good, and if you haven't picked up this series, you should. Like, this was so good. Okay, I am terrified. I don't know how late I'm staying up tonight, but I am terrified of what comes next. So let's figure that out, I guess. Okay, meant to read earlier. I have a lot of options for this. So let me go take a look. I have more options than this. Like, half of my November TBR is things that I meant to get to earlier, but I think I'm going to go with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is my favorite Harry Potter movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm so obsessed with the movies, and I've been really enjoying the reads. This is my, if you aren't aware, this is my first time reading the series. So I think it'll be so fun to compare how the book is to the movie. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this. And this is 430 pages. So I definitely won't finish it tonight. But I do have the audiobook. So I think I can get through this relatively quickly, for me at least. But that's so exciting. I'm gonna enjoy this. Okay, it is almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:43 p.m. the next day, so right now. But I just finished Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I really liked it. I So far, this is my favorite book in the series, and yeah, I did compare it to the movies, but that's to be expected. It was 435 pages, so I'm now at 1,245 pages that I still have to read, and not very much time. So I can tell you a little bit about this, but then we need to get into our next bit to figure out what I'm going to be reading. So this is a very fun installment in this series, and I'm very happy that I read it for this challenge. I will say the pacing in this one is a little off. Like, just certain parts felt very drawn out, and then other parts felt very quick. So that's really my only complaint. I really enjoyed this. It was so good. But yeah, now let's figure out what the next prompt is, and then what our next read will be, and we can go from there. Okay, new to me author. I'm so sure I have a lot of options. Let me get them. Okay, if we're going just with my November TBR, right, we have 8 options, so that's insane. Weird Monstrous, I'm gonna immediately say no to this. This is great if graphic novel comes up again, or if I just need like a small amount of pages to read at the very end, but not right now. And then we have Normal People by Sally Rooney. I'm very excited to get to this. It's been on my TBR probably the longest out of any book on my TBR, but it is a very, very short book. So I'm going to say probably not. I'm also going to say no to Legends and Lattes because of the same reason. It is a pretty short book, less than 300 pages. And then, yeah, I'm going to also say no to Bunny because of similar reasons. And then that leaves me with 4, obviously. And I don't know. Okay, so I'll go through the options and then try to make a decision. So we have Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto, You Again by Kate Goldbeck, Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, and then The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Looking at these, I think this one might be the longest. Pages. Okay, I'm going to say no to Not Another Love Song just for now. I don't have an audiobook version of this book, and yeah, I don't have another way of reading it except for physically, which is my slowest way of reading books. And then let's see about this one. I am also going to say no to The Kiss Quotient just because it's kind of shorter. I know putting longer books on is going to take longer to get through the books, but also I need more pages. So I'm going to say no to this one. Okay, so basically my options are Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, which is a Greek myth retelling of Medusa, or You Again by Kate Goldbeck, which is a romance novel. This one is longer and I have it on my Kindle, but this one I have an audiobook of. I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm just going to go with this. And then if I need a break from reading this, I might spin again and do another prompt. And then I could pick up an audiobook to go along with reading this on my Kindle. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm very excited for this book. I think it's going to be so fun. So yeah, You Again by Kate Goldbeck will take this on. It's 11:38. I have just over 10 hours and I just completed this book and I absolutely loved it. I can understand people's criticisms, especially of our main character Ari, but I really enjoyed their friendship and their relationship and a lot of the nods to When Harry Met Sally. But yeah, this was a really good time. Okay, so I still need to read 797 pages before 9 p.m. today. So that's so fun. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but we're going to try. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, our next prompt is going to be helpful because right now I don't have very much brain capacity because I had maybe an hour and a half of sleep last night. Yeah. If you ever set a challenge for yourself in a readathon, this is a note to myself and you if you ever want to do one. Don't fall asleep at like 11 p.m. or midnight the first day, because then your second day, if you choose a book where you think you have an audiobook but you don't and you just have the ebook or the physical book, it's going to take you quite a while. So that's that out of the way. But for this next prompt, which we got audiobook, I have I have a lot of my November TBR on audiobook, and I'm going to just go with the Kiss Quotient because I don't have, like I said, much brain power. This isn't even 400 pages, but it at least gets us a little bit further towards our goal, and I can hopefully get through the audiobook quickly. Okay, since my last update, I finished the Kiss Quotient. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I thought, also sorry if I get washed out. It's late. I don't feel like turning the big light on, so we're just doing my lamp, which is very bright and right there. So I apologize in advance. But this is about a girl who needs help with dating, and so she asks someone to be her fake boyfriend, and it's their love story. It was really cute. The autism rep was really well done, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. Then you will see that we spun again, and we got new to me author again. Okay, so I figured, I know this is not the best option, so we're gonna choose Normal People by Sally Rooney. This does get a little bit more pages out of the way. We're still at 474, so even when I finish this book, I'm still going to have to read something else. And guess what? It's 5:40, so I have 3 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm telling you this now, I'm not going to be able to read this before that time is up. But even if we just go based off of what I've already read, that's still quite a bit. So I'm proud of that. Yeah, we are gonna try to get as much as possible. Pulling me out of the story just a little bit. So yeah, in total, okay, so let's recap. My goal for this 48-hour readathon, my challenge that I set for myself, was to read 2,000 pages. And if you know my reading ability, maybe you don't, but if you do, I am not a fast reader at all. It's really challenging for me to read a lot at one time. So I kind of went into this with the anticipation that I wasn't going to read very much, right? Like I was not expecting anything. So the fact that I was only, are you ready? I was only 201 pages away from meeting 2,000, which means that we finished this challenge with 1,799 pages read. That's crazy. Like, I cannot believe that I read this stack of books in this. Me. I did that. That's amazing. That is so crazy. It is literally all I did this weekend. I mean, obviously, like, I had meals with my partner and we hung out, but, like, I was focused on this, so I definitely can't do this prompt this often. Or super often, but I had a really good time with it, and I had a lot of really good reads. They were all 4 or 5 stars. So, just to recap, first I read Delicates, which is the second book in the, is it Sheets? It's the sequel to Sheets. I liked Sheets. I loved this. So, Very good. And then I read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I loved this. This was so good. And then I read You Again. This is the one that took me the longest, almost 24 hours, if I'm remembering correctly. But that is because everything else it was either a graphic novel or I had the audiobook for, and I did not have an audiobook for this one. So I am very slow with reading with my eyeballs if I'm only reading with my eyeballs. So but even just reading this over 400-page book within the span of 24 hours, that is crazy to me. I don't do that very often. Like it's so rare that I'm able to do that. So I'm very proud of this one. And then I read The Kiss Quotient, which Michael gave this book to me so many years ago. Like when I first started reading again back at the end of 2020, I think. This was one of the books that was popular on BookTube, and I really wanted to read it, and I finally did, and I enjoyed it. And then lastly, we have Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is another one that's been on my TBR the longest. I think it's been on my TBR the longest, but The Kiss Quotient was on my physical TBR the longest, if that makes sense. But wow. So that is 5 books read. That's insane. I think I need to just stop underestimating myself, because obviously I can do it. I just have to set my mind to it and be strategic. Like, don't go to bed. Again, I already said this, but don't go to bed the first night of a 48-hour readathon at like 11 p.m. when you can stay up reading. I don't know why I did that. It was so silly. But yeah, that is all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I love watching 48-hour readathon videos. It's one of my favorite forms of booktube content. And honestly, I love participating in 48-hour readathons. And so if you enjoyed this, please let me know and I will do another one. I will subject myself to this again. Yeah, just let me know. I'm so sleep deprived. I did not sleep at all last night. That doesn't matter right now. Oh my God. Okay. But yes, please let me know if you liked this video by liking it. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and what you're most excited to read. If you haven't read any of these, what would you like to start? And then always, as always, please subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Bye.